What if I told you the real secret to winning any argument has nothing to do with being the loudest or most aggressive person in the room? Today, we're going to break down an incredible technique from the world of elite legal battles that'll help you build an absolutely unshakable case for, well, anything you're passionate about. So, our guide for this is a book called The Art of Argument, which, at first glance looks like it's just for law students doing this thing called mooting. But honestly, the techniques inside are so powerful and so universal. They're persuasion secrets that go way, way beyond any courtroom. Okay, let's just dive right into the wildest part of this whole thing. The core idea is completely counterintuitive. To win a tough argument, the very first step isn't to build up your own case. It's to systematically tear it down. It's to prove yourself wrong. Now, stick with me here, because getting this one concept is going to change how you handle every single important conversation from now on. To really wrap our heads around this, we've got to understand the world where these techniques were forged. We're about to go inside the ultimate training ground for persuasion. So, what in the world is mooting? Well, the term actually goes all the way back to the 1500s. Seriously, it's basically a simulated court case. Law students get a hypothetical scenario and they have to argue it in front of real judges. It's a tradition that's been sharpening minds for centuries. The best way to picture it is as this incredibly intense mental workout. It's a high-stakes strategy game, kind of like a mix between a debate club and an intellectual boxing match. It really is a boot camp for your brain, designed to help you build the most logical, compelling arguments possible, all while you're under extreme pressure. So, how does a process like this even start? Well, before a single word of an argument is written down, the best of the best take this really surprising first step. And it has nothing to do with the law, it has everything to do with human nature. The very first thing you do when you get the facts of a case is decide just instinctively who you think should win. This is your gut reaction, right? Your emotional response based on what you feel is fair. You have to admit that you have this bias right from the get-go. And this is exactly why that first step is so important. The whole goal is to move from that subjective gut feeling to a truly objective position. By spotting your own emotional starting line, you can consciously step past it and start applying cold, hard logic without fear or favor. Okay, now we are getting to the absolute heart of it. This is the technique that separates a decent argument from a truly great one. It is all about learning to think exactly like your opponent. This slide lays out this amazing 5-step process. So steps 1 to 3 are kind of what you'd expect, right? Get your gut reaction, figure out your side, list your arguments. But steps 4 and 5, this is the total game changer. You have to imagine you're representing the other side and you build the strongest possible case for them. And you don't just do it once. You repeat this, switching back and forth at least 5 times. This quote just perfectly captures the whole philosophy. You're not really trying to beat your opponent. You're in a constant battle with yourself, always trying to find an even stronger counterattack to your own best idea. So why would you go through all this trouble? It's simple, really. By passionately and brilliantly arguing for the other side, you find every single flaw, every weak point, every potential hole in your own position. You're basically stress testing your own case and patching up all the leaks before anyone else even gets a chance to see them. So once you've built this totally bulletproof argument in your head, you have to actually present it with clarity and force. So let's look at a few key ideas for making your case really land. This is such a fantastic, simple example of a powerful tool. The active voice. Just look at the difference here. The respondent breached its duty. Boom. It's direct, it's assertive, it's clear. The passive version, the duty was breached. It's just weaker, kind of roundabout. If you want to make a strong argument, always stick to the active voice. Subject, verb, object. Done. And here are a few more quick tips for a really clear presentation. Use signposting. That just means giving your audience a roadmap. Like saying, I've got 3 main points to cover. Offer alternative arguments, so if one doesn't quite work, others can still back you up. And don't hide from your weaknesses. Addressing them directly actually shows confidence. And of course, being concise and using neutral language just makes your case that much more professional and persuasive. Now for the big question, right? This is all fascinating stuff, but how can we take these elite techniques out of the legal world and apply them in our own lives? Okay, let's get practical. How does this actually apply to you, day to day? Where can you put this powerful framework to use? Think about it. You're pitching a new project. First, build the best possible case for not doing it.
What are the budget issues, the risks, the other options? Address all of that in your pitch. Negotiating a raise. Argue from your boss's perspective first. Why might they say no? Be ready for those objections. This works for job interviews, debates with friends, literally any conversation where the stakes feel high.
And this really brings us to the ultimate goal. It's not just about defending an idea, it's about building a case that's so tough, so well thought out, that it has already fought and won its hardest battles internally, before you ever say a word out loud.
And that leaves us with a final thought. The next time you find yourself in a disagreement, what's your approach going to be? Are you going to argue just to win that point in that moment? Or are you going to first argue to truly understand the other side? And by doing that, build a case that isn't just a winner, but is truly undeniable.